Hello and welcome to Cracking the Cryptic. Today I'm going to have a look at one of a set of puzzles that Sam Kappelman-Lyons prepared for our current uncertain times. He called this group of puzzles Uncertainty, and the theme of them was that in each case you weren't sure what constraint is applying. Now this puzzle is called Sum or Average, and the point of the arrows is that the number in the circle is either the sum or the average of the numbers along the arrow. So those are very different things. I've loaded the puzzle so you can have a try. It's on the link beneath the video. Do have a go and then watch my attempt. And I'll start now. So there's a little bit of regular Sudoku we can do at first. There are 9s here. Oh, actually, there are 9s there as well, so that must be a 9. And the symmetrical counterpart is true because of the 9 there, and that one, that's all good. One of these is a 9. Now, if this was a sum Sudoku, you could rule it out from there, but as an average, you can't. One of those must be a 9. Now in the middle, one of these 3 must be a 9, but I don't think the center can be a 9 because obviously, although 3 digits could add up to 9, 3 could only average to 9 if they were all 9, and obviously that's not possible. 2 of them would always have to be in the same box. Now why couldn't 3 add up to 9? You could have 2, 3, 4 going up there, but then you couldn't find 3 more digits to add up to 9 going down here. The other way of looking at that is if they added up to 9, they added up to 9, that's 18 plus 9 in the middle, 27. You'd need 18 more for the 2 outside cells, and that's not possible. So it can't be 9 in the middle. Actually, I think maybe this is the way to look at this puzzle, is what can be in the middle. Could it be 8? No, it couldn't be 8. I don't think, because again, these couldn't both be sums because they'd both need a 1 in. If 1 was an average, that would add up to 24, so they couldn't both be averages. Now, if 1 was an average and 1 was a sum, theoretically possible. 24 plus 8 is 32, plus 8 in the middle is 40. Well, maybe this is possible. No, but how would 3 cells average to 8? They could only add up to 24 if they were 9, 8, and 7. That isn't possible. So this can't be 9 or 8. Let's put all the other possibilities in. I think maybe now I'll start from the bottom. This clearly can't be a 1 because 3 cells couldn't average or sum to that. So we can get rid of that possibility. The same's true of a 2. Certainly sum's impossible, and for 3 cells to average 2, they'd have to be 1, 2, 3 or 2, 2, 2, and there's just no way that that's gonna fit in. I mean, especially along the straight lines. The same's true of 3. That's impossible. They couldn't average to 3. Even if both sets average to 3, you'd have 9 plus 9 plus 3, 21. You'd need another 24 outside. 4 doesn't feel possible either. Again, they'd have to be averages. If those average to 4, they'd be 12. 24 plus 4 is 28. You'd need another 17 on the outside, and these can't be 9 and 8 because 9 is looking at both of them, so can't be 4. Now that leaves the 3 candidates it might be. Can it be 5? Let's try this again. If they added up to an average of 5, 15, 30 plus 5 there, 35. Now you'd have to have 10 on the outside. That is more possible. Couldn't be, stop it. Couldn't be 1 and 9. But it could be 2 and 8. Okay, 5 is looking more possible than I'd expected. Yeah, if 5 could never have 3 in a straight line that added to 5. So everything virtually would have to be an average. So 15, 30, 5. So in this line, they couldn't be 1, and so the outsides would have to add to 10 to make the sum of 45, which is the sum of 1 to 9. Now they couldn't be 1 and 9 because this couldn't be either. They couldn't be 2 and 8 because in this column neither could be a 2 because they're in the same box. Now could they be 3 and 7? It is theoretically possible at the moment. It's possible here. Interestingly, 3 and 7 isn't possible this side because both ends are seeing a 7. But they could also be 4 and 6. Let's just think about the 3 and 7 possibility. How would 3 cells average to 5? Remember, there'd have to be a 9 in one of them. So one set would have to be 9, 4, 2. You'd have the 5. The 8 would have to be in the other set. There'd have to be 8, 6, 1. So you'd have 9, 4, 2, 5, 8, 6, 1. It would have to be 3, 7 at the end. I suppose that is possible. The 8, 6, 1 would have to be a... Ah, no. 8, 6, 1 couldn't be these 3 because none of them could be an 8. And 8, 6, 1 couldn't be these 3 because none of them could be a 1. So that's ruled out 5. 5's not possible. Oh no, I didn't work out whether 4 and 6 could be the end numbers. Yes, I did because the averages in this column would have to be 9, 4, 2 and 8, 6, 1. And 8, 6, 1 can't be fitted in. So 5 is not possible. 6 feels more possible. I'm going to try 7 next because that seems quite high. Now, with 7, you couldn't have them both averaging to 7 because that would be 21 plus 42, plus 21 is 42, plus 7 is 49. So, and you couldn't have them both be sums because they'd both have to be 1, 2, 4. So, 7 plus one lot that adds to 21, which is an average, one lot that adds to 7, 21, 28, 35. So again, we're looking at 10 on the outsides. And we've used 1, 2, 4. That must have been used. And the other ones must add up to 21 without a 7. You've got 9, 8, 6, 5, 3. Can't use a 9. I don't think it is possible. You've got 9, 8, 6, 5, 3. In fact, the way to look at it is you'd have to make 10 on the outsides from 9, 8, 6, 5, 3, and there is no combination. It can't be 7. 7 is ruled out. This central cell is a 6. And that took some working out. You know, what are we, 8 minutes in? That's just mad that it's taken that long. But there we go. Now, one number in the center of the grid. I suppose we did put those 2 9s in at the beginning as well. One of these, by the way, is a 2 because of where the 2's are placed. Now, let's look up and down because I think they're a bit more restricted. Now, if we included a 1, 2, 3, a sum, it couldn't be up here because one of those would have to be 1 or 2. So it would have to be 2 and then 1, 3 down here. That's possible. That would have cells adding to 12 already, and then these would have to add to 18. That would be 30. And then we'd need 17 more at the end. No, 15 more at the end. Couldn't be 9 and 6 because they both see a 9. Has to be 8 and 7. I mean, this is a must if there's a sum. Now, if there isn't a sum, we've got 18 plus 18 is 36, plus 6 is 42, and it can't be 2 and 1 at the ends because both of these cells see a 2. So that's 7/8 right. Now looking across here, we could have 2 and 1 at the ends. Can we have it so that one of these would be 1, 2, 3, 3 and 2, 1, 1 and 2, 3. Yeah, they're both possible. Now, if one of them okay, let's focus on the 7/8 first, actually. That 8 makes that a 7. Fair enough. That makes that an 8. Now we've had... Now did I... Oh, yeah, this is important. I might as well fill in what I've got. If I established that 21 plus 18, yeah, one of these is 1, 2, 3, and it's not this one, then this set must be 1, 2, 3 down here. So that's a 2. These are 1 and 3. This cell can no longer be 9, and this cell must be 9. Okay, that's good actually, because that means I can take 9 out of there and eventually out of there, because I can put a proper 9 in here and here. And that's filled in all the 9s. Now this group of cells obviously has to average to 6, so they have to make 18. This can't be 1, 8 or 3, 6, but it could be 2, 7 or 4, 5. Now what about over here? Still don't know whether that's an average or a sum actually, but I can get rid of the 2 from there, and I know that these two cells are 4 and 5. I'm really not looking at the diagonals yet because I think they're a bit open-ended so far. Now, what else have we got? So let's focus on this. If this did add up to 6 again, we'd have 3, 1 and 2. That's possible. So 6 plus 12 plus 18 is 30. These end ones would have to add up to 15. And they can't. They can't be either 9 and 6 because both of them are seen by a 9, and they can't be 7 and 8 because both of them are seen by a 7. Wow. Okay, so this they don't add up to 15. So this must be an average again. So these add up to 18. These add up to 18. 36 plus 6. The end two are 2 and 1, and this one must be the 2 because of the 1 in the box already. That can't be 2, 7 anymore. These are now 3, 8, 7. The 8 must be there. That must be 3 and 7. Right, we've done the horizontal and vertical arrows to an extent, and that's definitely something. Right, the 7 in this box must be in one of those. The 7 in this box must be in one of those. Now, what can we do next? Maybe we're going to have to move on to the diagonal arrows. Can we rule out 3, 2, 1s for the possibility of these diagonal arrows being sums? This could be 2 there. This one could have a 2 there. Nothing seems totally ruled out, unfortunately. So we can't rule those out. What else can we do, though? Oh, look, that 8 and that 8 is placing an 8 up here. So there's a bit more regular Sudoku to do first. So this is 3, 7, 6. The end one can't be a 7, 2, 9, 8. Oh, we've got a 1 here. Okay, that is going to be useful. And we've got 4, 5 here. And the interesting thing about that one is it forms a pair with that. These two must be, these two must be a 3, 7 pair. Okay, now that is more interesting. Now this 1 could obviously be part of a sum, 2 there and 3 there. Could it possibly be part of an average? No, because they'd have to add up to 17, And they can't be 9, 8 because there's a 9 there. So we can fill in 2 and 3. That sum's done. Now here, this can't be part of a sum because 4 would need 1 and 1. So it must be an average again. So these two add up to either 14 or 13. Now they can't be 9, 5. They could be 8 there and 6 there for 14. If they were 13, it would have to be 8 and 5. So that's an 8 whatever. And this is either 6 or 5 with these two cells adding up to 10. Okay. Now up here, one of these is going to be a 3. And for that to be an average, the other two cells would have to be 9 and 6 or 8 and 7. These ones can't be 9 and 6 or 8 and 7 because you've got a 9 in the box, 8's in the columns. These ones can't be 9 and 6 or 8 and 7. So wherever the 3 is, it's in a sum. It's a 3, 2, 1 sum. So I'm going to fill in 2's in the corner of those cells and 1's in the corner of those because it would have to be disposed in one of those ways, and try and remember that they're offsetting. Now, whichever side the 7 is, that's clearly in an average. The other two would have to add to 7. So that could be 8 and 3 or 6 and 5 there. Yeah, there's lots of possibilities there. 7, 4, 8, 3, or not 8, 3 actually, but 7, 4 or 6 and 5. So I don't know which way around that goes. But now what else can we do? These must all be 6, 5 and 4. That's giving us a triple. 4, 5, 6 there. This must be 3 or 7. Not sure if that helps much. 2, 3, 9. Oh, 8 can be placed in this box. Oh, that's quite interesting. 8 is in one of these cells as well. If that was 8, it would be with the 7. 15. That would have to be a 3. That's possible. 8 must be in one of those cells. Okay, I can't rule that out. But, no, that doesn't help. I was thinking if this was a 7, are these more restricted than before, but they're not. Right, what else? Oh, 3 and 1 have been resolved down here. That's good. By that 3. There must be a 3 somewhere along here. That's not a 3 now. 1982. What do we do next? Ah, this can't be a 2 anymore because of that 2 placed. Right, great. So the 2, 1 is up there with the 3. So we can put 7 there. Get rid of the 2 from the corner of that, and the 1 there. Now, these two add up to 11. They can't be 9, 2. They can't be 7, 4. They can't be 8, 3 because we've got 8 and 3 there. So they must be 6 and 5. This must be where 8 is. Let's get it out of there. That's good. 3 now in this box must be up at the top here in one of those. And that decides that that's a 7. Oh, that's been decided by that being a 3. Okay. Right, 5 in this box is in one of those 2 cells. 5 in this box is in one of those 2. So 5 must be in this column down here. What about 7? Oh yeah, 7 has to be here in this box. And that makes it here in that one. Crikey, I mean, this is a fascinating puzzle. Look how long the resistance goes on. 8, 5, 6, 9, 7, 3. 2 has to be here in this cell, given the other 2s around the grid. I think, yeah, 2 has to be here. We're getting quite close to finishing off 2s, actually. Last pair of 2s are in these 4 cells here. This is, oh, this can't be 1 either. This must now be a 4. It's kind of a naked single, I think, given the 5 and 6 in this cell. Yep, that's a 4. Okay, and that resolves the 5, 4 there. That resolves the 6, 5. Nice. There's a 1. The last 1 goes in here. This is now a 2, 3 pair. That's a 4, 5, 6 triple around there. Are these 4, 5 resolved? No, not yet. This is a 1, 3 pair up here. In fact, we can fill them in because of the 1 below. Okay. That's probably the last 1 in the grid, I would imagine. 1, 2, 3, 8, 7, 9. So we now seem to be getting stuck with all the 4, 5, 6s to disambiguate, which is interesting. This 8's been resolved. Okay, so we can put 8 in there. That could still be 6. I was hoping that was just going to be restricted to 3 or 7, so it would form a pair with that. Wow, this is a complicated puzzle. Okay, that 3 above has fixed that. So now these are 4, 5, 6 in some order, like everything seems to be now. I think the only way to sort out what we've got going on in the rest of the puzzle, I'm going to fill in all the candidates now because I just can't see why I shouldn't. Might pop something out. 1, 2, 8, 6, 9. This can be 3, 4, 5. This is only 3 or 6. Oh, this can't be a 7 actually. That's 3 or 6. 2, 8, 6, 9, 7, 3, 4, 5. But this cell could be a lot of things. 3, 4, 5 or 7. Okay, let's just get rid of those 2s. Right, so this is everything possible now. And I think we're going to have to kind of work on an assumption with these 2. What if they were both 5s? So on this arrow, this would be a 5. That would put 3, 4, 6 here. This would obviously be a 5. That would be a 5. 5, 5. And then one of these and one of these. That's all possible. Okay, that didn't rule anything out. What about the other possibility that this is a 6 and this is a 4? Okay, the 4 puts a 4 here and a 4 here. One of those is a 4. It's not all that helpful. Doesn't really make anything change, does it? I don't know how we're meant to find a logical way to get through the rest of this. It very much seems to hinge on which one of those possibilities, 4 and 6 or 5 and 5, is right. This has to be a 7 actually. Sorry, I said it could be anything, but given the 7s here, here and here, that's a 7. Actually, that does at least fix the 3, 7 pair there. I think we've got all the 7s done now, but we don't have all the 3s done. Maybe the whole thing is going to focus on where 3s go. No, I don't think so. These are the remaining 3 possibilities, and none of them obviously mess up anything else. still think it's all coming down to these. If I try one of them, it might work, and if I try the other, it might not. It's annoying to be kind of thinking about bifurcating at this incredibly late stage when there's really only one deduction left to do. But I am thinking about it. Let's see if I can just quickly work out anything that's more crystal clear and more logical. And if not, then I think it is going to be time to try one version and see if it works. I feel that the 5s is less likely, but it didn't throw out anything impossible. So, okay, I'm going to try it. So we're starting here, 5, 5, and I'm imagining this won't work. So 5 there, 4 there, that gives us a 4 here. That puts 4 here, which is quite interesting. That puts 4 there. 3 here. That fixes 2, 3. The 2 is now given there. That's got to be 6. 3 and 6. 5 in the corner. I mean, this looks like it is working. 6. No, it isn't working. Look at that. It's failed here. I need to put in a 5 for the row, but I can't because of the 5 down there. So it didn't work with 5s, rather as I suspected. But from this position, I'm not sure I can see why. Is there some obvious reason why it can't be 5s? 5 there and 5 there. You'd have a 5 here and a 5 here. That has to be 5 because of the arrow. That's 5, that's 5. I mean, it's not obvious just from the 5s why that didn't work. But something to do with this cell made it impossible. Intriguing. I mean, it doesn't work, so it's obviously has to be with the 4 and the 6, but I know some of you will be disappointed that I haven't been able to show something a bit cleaner about exactly why. Do feel free to point out in the comments anything that's a kind of cleaner explanation of why from that point it couldn't be those 5s. I mean, all I was able to do was demonstrate that it wasn't, which is, as I know, not all that satisfactory. So with 6 there now, that's not 6. That's not 6. So we've got a 4-5 pair here now. This has to be 2-6 as a pair. I mean, somehow it's still not quite done. 4 can't be there. Oh yes, 4 has to be here. Okay, so that is helpful in that 4 can't be there. But still, I mean, is it? Oh yes, 5 has to be here for this row. Okay, so that fixes that 4. That's disambiguating the 5, 4. Yeah, now it is coming. Okay. Wow, I mean, that's a fiendishly difficult puzzle. I'd love to know about that end position and what I was kind of missing. This has to be 5 now. Yeah, 6, 3, 5 there, 3 there, 6 there, 4 in the corner, and hopefully this does work. And there we go, Sam's sum or average uncertainty puzzle, and it certainly left us with some uncertainty as we went along. I hope that was interesting to you. You know, apologies if that finish wasn't entirely satisfactory. And as I say, feel free to explain better why the position with 2 5s there didn't work well in the comments. I'd be intrigued. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that puzzle. I'd be shocked if you didn't, if you tried it yourself, but hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.